It's going to be quite a fight to see who emerges as the backup quarterback at Georgia. We're not so far away from the Dogs taking the practice field, about 3 weeks before Georgia's got that going on, and it's really important to be the backup quarterback because as we've seen in 2016, 17, 20, and 21. Uh, Not only does Georgia go to the backup quarterback, but they are not scared to do that. Kirby Smart has done that many different times, and this is an important moment for Georgia. The ability to repeat is very difficult to do, and sometimes you have to use multiple quarterbacks in a season. We saw that last year. We saw that the season before that. Hey, listen, make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION. It's a great way to get this product as well as support this channel. Uh, if you're watching this video, you can click the link down below or it's tagged in the item. So this is going to be an interesting spring. And a lot of times people say the word interesting, and what they mean by that is they don't want to talk about it. Well, I do. Um, I do want to talk about it because you got a real, you got a three-way fight uh, to see who's going to be the backup quarterback here behind Stetson Bennett. And the assumption that Stetson will start the entire 2022 season, I'm not ready to make. And the reason why I'm not is because I've seen what it's like at Georgia over the last, since Kirby's been there. I mean, again, just to review, you had two starters in 2016. And before you get all in the comments talking about how Jacob Eason was always going to be the starter, if he was always going to be the starter, he would have started the whole time. So they went with Grayson Lambert in game one, and then they go with Jacob to close that game out. And Jacob, from that point forward, as a starter, not that he didn't have struggles the very next week. So you got that season. Obviously, in 17, when Georgia makes a run to the national championship game, Jacob is replaced because of injury by Jake Fromm. Uh, and then Fromm stays healthy and maintains being the starter for a 3-year period. And then in 2020, it's all sorts of chaos at quarterback. Eventually, Dwan Mathis starts a game twice. Started against, against Arkansas, then comes in against Florida and really struggles. But Stetson Bennett was a starter, and then you also had JT Daniels starting in that game. And then you fast forward to 21. You have JT Daniels starting at the beginning of the season, loses his spot because of injury to Stetson Bennett. They go on to win the national championship. So no position is safe. I didn't mention that Stetson was replaced by JT Daniels after being the starter in 2020. Or if I did, I kind of glossed over it pretty quick. There's no certainty that just because you started at the beginning of the season at Georgia for quarterback that you're going to start in the future. It's just not how it works. And he's going to play the best player available to him, he being Kirby Smart. Now, insofar as I can tell, it's a three-man fight between Carson Beck, uh, Brock Vandegrift, and of course the newcomer Gunnar Stockton from Raven County. It's going to be tough for Gunnar to surpass guys who have been on campus for a year or more. And so does this come down to a Brock Carson fight? A season ago, the backup became JT Daniels. But for a long period of time, it was Carson Beck. I mean, Carson Beck looked like he was having the type of spring where he could push for playing time. Okay. That turned out not to happen. When it was time to start against UAB, Stetson Bennett was the starter and threw 5 touchdowns and a half, and he became the starter by default from that point forward when JT Daniels got hurt. So where is Carson Beck in all of this? Like where is his mindset? If he would have transferred postseason, he would have already done it. So I can't imagine that anyone that's a quarterback would transfer right now. After the spring, yeah, maybe. We'll see. But we'll see. I mean, there's no certainty of that either. Anymore in college football, you're going to have to beat somebody out to be the starting quarterback wherever you are. And no matter where you go, there's going to be fights along the way. I mean, Spencer Rattler can tell you about that. So Bryce Young can tell you about that. Everybody can tell you about that. We've entered the golden age of quarterbacks. these young men who are playing now have grown up being groomed and developed to play quarterback. And we really started seeing this. This is post Matthew Stafford. This is post. It's a little bit post Johnny Manziel, although that was about when you started seeing the development of passing leagues and 7-on-7s and so forth come to fruition. It's not something that, like for instance, a David Green or Eric Zier had the ability to take advantage of. So when guys get to campus, they're I mean not completely, they are further along than they were 15 years ago. I mean that's just all there is to it. And so guys who are projected to be the chosen one, Spencer Rattler, for instance, there's a chosen one right behind them. There's so many chosen ones now that it's hard to pick between them, right? Um, I mean, JT Daniels was a five-star quarterback. DJ Uiagalelei was a five-star quarterback, and both those guys really struggled to hold on to their starting jobs in 2021. And one of them just straight up struggled, which is DJ. I mean, I can't say JT Daniels played poorly in 2021. He didn't. He just got beat out by a guy who got hot and Stetson Bennett. They didn't want to go away from him. So JT is in a similar position. I mean, I'm not. I'm saying this without really. I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm not aware that JT Daniels has found a place. So I don't know. And maybe by the time this video is viewed by all of y'all, he will have found a place. I got no. I think JT, would be a very good quarterback wherever he lands. So the fight amongst quarterbacks is a very real thing in college football. I've managed to talk this long and not talk about what I imagine will happen. I don't know. I mean, Carson Beck has the advantage coming into 21 to be the backup quarterback. All right. There's an advantage to have been the backup. There's an advantage to have been through, unfortunately, only one spring football. So Carson only has as many spring footballs as Vandergrift does. But in that time, he played better than Brock did. The folks that I talked to, I think Beck did not progress the way they wanted him to from the summer to the fall, and Vandegrift has not been as accurate as folks would like for him to be in order to take over the starting spot. There's no question that Vandegrift and Stockton both have the physical tools to give you a two-tool player, a running and a passing quarterback. They both can do it. I've seen them do it. I mean, there's just all there is to it. Now, Brock is more prepared with his physicality to withstand the beating of that in the SEC. But as we've seen from Stetson Bennett, you don't have to be a physical beast to be an effective runner. That is a little bit Vandegrift style. It's a little bit Stockton style too. These guys don't get down, so they'll have to adjust the way that they play. Nobody, I've not seen a quarterback with the ability to have with the speed of Vandegrift in a while. Um, in a while, he can really take off and run. So if he can, but the number one thing about a quarterback, and this is where I think Stockton is got an advantage in the future, is it's playing the position. And it's hard for me to say that with Brock. I don't know. He may have developed over the last 18 months or so in a way that, and we can't see these guys. I mean, we're not allowed to practice anymore because of COVID restrictions. I don't know if Kirby will ever change that again. So it's hard to know for sure. You're going on hearsay from people you trust, but you're going on that, and it's hard. I trust my own eyes. I've seen these guys, these backups. I've seen them play a lot in high school, a lot, and you know, there's something to be said for Beck taking a team in Florida in the largest classification in Florida and winning the state championship. They're that's pretty impressive. Vandegrift won the state championship in the smallest classification in Georgia, but to me, I mean, it doesn't take away his accomplishment. But this is going to be a three-ring fight between these guys. This is not going to be. There's not going to be a certainty. G Day is going to be That's going to be the most watched thing about G Day in a few weeks. Well, I guess 2 months. is who really looks the best at G Day. And you got to keep in mind it's only 1/15 of the practices that they have, you know. So if you don't have a good G Day, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not the best quarterback option at backup. And as we've seen at Georgia over time, backups become starters. So and can happen during season. So that's one thing that caught my attention today. And I want to make sure y'all are picking up DAWGSTRUCTION. Here is the link is below. Thanks for watching, supporting us, and we look forward to y'all grabbing these. They're going to be in the mail as soon as this coming week. So thanks to everybody supporting us. We'll see you over on the website. Thanks for watching.